the controversy over WAP. There was a lot of controversy, a lot of going back and forth. But now that the emotional smoke has cleared and the emotional dust has settled, maybe we can have an intelligent conversation about what we are looking at. Because that's what's important to me, understanding what we're looking at. As watchmen on the wall, we have to understand what we're looking at. And so that when we announce what we see, we give the people sound guidance and sound understanding. And understanding is the best part. Coming through the ranks of the 5% nation and our supreme mathematics, it's knowledge, wisdom, understanding, and understanding is the best part. Understanding is the fruit of knowledge and wisdom together. Understanding is seeing clearly. That's the best part. And so understanding what we are looking at today, that was my aim then, and that is my aim now. Understanding what we're looking at. And so I want to clear up some things. Apparently, some people saw my post and said, Brother Dr. Wesley is attacking Sister Cardi B and Sister Megan Thee Stallion. Some even went so far as to say Dr. Wesley is insulting black women. Wow. I want to say this very directly. The only ones who have said anything like that are ones who have never read what I wrote or watched and listened to what I said, or at least didn't read it carefully. If you're going to ride by on my page, it's not advisable that you read the title, get triggered, and leave. But a lot of people did that. Because if you read what I offered, if you listened to what I said, nobody would be going around saying Brother Dr. Wesley was attacking Sister Cardi B or Megan Thee Stallion. For me, the release of that video and the song was a very teachable moment. That's why I weighed in. That was a teachable moment. And so, Brother Wesley, what lessons? If you say that was a teachable moment, what lessons were you hoping we got from WAP? Before I get into what I thought WAP was such a great teachable moment for, before I get into that, I want to read something and to preface my comments in that regard. I want to read something from my book. It was released in February. This book was released in February. Understanding the Assault on a Black Man, Volume 2. Marijuana, the Pac Plot. Marijuana, Hip Hop, and the Scientific Assault on Black America. In this book, published in February, I say these words. Listen, this is the framing of my offering in terms of the conversation about WAP. This is the framing. This is what I said. In a section entitled, Who Controls Hip Hop? Exposing the architecture of the Illuminati. This is what I said in this book published in February. I write, quote, is there an Illuminati influence in hip hop? My answer to this question depends on how one defines the Illuminati that is supposed to be influential in hip hop. Most proponents or deniers of an Illuminati presence and influence have in mind the Bavarian group founded in 1776 by German professor Adam Weishaupt, with its dark symbolism, odd ritualism, and secret hierarchy. Proponents tend to see evidence of influence in such, to my mind, trivial places as the strange imagery in Kanye West's Power video or the diamond hand sign thrown up by Jay-Z. Personally, I am not such a proponent. The influence of the Illuminati on rap and hip-hop cannot, in my view, be seen in the prolific use of occult symbolism in videos or in Luciferian references hidden in backmasked messages. That's all game, in my opinion. On the other hand, I do discern an Illuminati influence, but the real evidence of this influence is the normalizing, this is the point, get this. On the other hand, I do discern an Illuminati influence, but the real evidence of this influence is the normalizing in hip-hop and the resultant lionizing in black popular culture of the characters of the nigger killing nigger, the bag getting slut, and now the black queer. So identify three characters that evidence the influence of the Illuminati in hip hop. Three characters: the nigger killing nigger, the bag getting slut, and now the black queer. I go on to say this. The forces behind these developments are a new establishment Illuminati that operates differently than the old establishment Illuminati, while the latter, the old establishment Illuminati, with its Rothschild's money, orchestrated revolutions to achieve its aims. The former, the new establishment Illuminati, with Brofman and Geffen and Blavatnik money, that is Edgar Brofman and David Geffen and Lynn Blavatnik money, promote pop stars to achieve its aims. So the old establishment Illuminati with Rothschild money used that money to foment revolutions and wars to advance its agenda, but the new establishment Illuminati with Brofman money and Geffen money and Blavatnik money, instead of fomenting revolutions, it promotes pop stars. That's the context of my conversation about WAP. None of my conversation, hear me, none of my conversation concerned our dear sisters. All of my conversation concerned what I just read to you. In fact, family, get this. God is in the details and truth resides in nuance. When I first heard the song WAP and saw the video. I didn't see Megan Thee Stallion and Cardi B. You hear what I said? When I first saw the video and heard the song, I didn't see Megan Thee Stallion and Cardi B. Instead of Megan Thee Stallion, I saw Lil Cohen. Instead of Cardi B, I saw Craig Cowman and Julie Greenwald, two proteges of Lil Cohen, an Israeli operative using hip hop to advance a Jewish agenda. That's what I saw. So none of my conversation was about our sisters. All of my conversation is about the characters that were created and the people who created the characters. And so that is why WAP was a teachable moment for me. I was neither offended, surprised, nor triggered by what I saw or heard in that video. Not at all. Because I understood what I was looking at. And the teachable moment for me was the opportunity to help us understand what it is we're looking at. And if we understand what it is we're looking at, we won't see Megan Thee Stallion, we'll see Lil Cohen. If we understand what we were looking at, we won't hear Cardi B, we will hear Craig Cowman and Julie Greenwald. That's what I said. That's what my conversation was about. Ain't no insulting black women in my conversation. Ain't no picking on those sisters in my conversation. If you say that, it's because you did a quick drive-by on my page, got triggered by an image you saw, and you went running your mouth. That's your fault. That ain't my fault. That's your fault. If you are impatient with the process of learning, my page will only frustrate you and mislead you. So you best just go elsewhere. This is what I said. Tell me where you find me insulting black women, insulting those sisters. These are my words. See? Again, black words matter. If I said it, call me to account on what I said and what the words I use, what their context is, what they mean. So I said this. I posted 3 posts as a package. Now, ironically, what we come to find out is with my 3 offerings, most people who had something to say about what Brother Dr. Wesley said, they did not avail themselves really to either one of the 3 postings. You saw the picture and you got triggered. You read the title and you got triggered. Yeah. This is what I actually said. So the fake news, the false narrative about your brother, that we gonna clear up. There may be another false narrative tomorrow, that's fine. But this false narrative, we gonna clear up. This is what I said. My 3 package posting. Quote, I printed it from my IG page. Quote, origin of hip hop's Bully Coon and Epsilon Male. Bully Coon and Epsilon Male, those are the males. I never talk about the character of the bag getting slut, and I'll explain that term. I never talk about the character of the bag getting slut without talking about the character of the nigga killing nigga and the bully coon. So I said, Listen to what I actually said. I said, quote, long before we shed light on the Jewish written script of hip-hop's black Jezebel character, we exposed the ancestry of hip-hop's bully, coon, and epsilon male. See, I keep it where it belongs. The Jewish writers of the script of the character. The character. The Jezebel character. Authored by these Jews. The bully, coon character. Authored by these Jews. So that's the first offering. And then I say this in the second offering. This is what I say. So you didn't see in this, you didn't read in this offering your brother attacking black women or even talking about black women. This is what I say in the second posting. Quote, no, we are not picking on female hot girl rappers. We have exposed the big picture of the weaponization of hip hop. That's the point. Exposing the big picture of the weaponization of hip hop. I said, quoting again from my book, published in February. So in that post, I'm quoting from the book published in February. This is what I say. This is what I lift. Quote, from page 500 of this book. Quote, the Jewish project of the production of blackness that satisfied the appetites of racist white America gave birth to the bully, coon, and its descendant, the gangster rapper. It also gave birth to the Negro pantsy or the coon femme and his descendant, the drag rapper. For example, Young Thug. He's not a gay rapper, drag rapper. Young Thug was clear, he ain't gay. But he was put in a dress by Leo Cohen, drag rapper, okay. Or queer rapper, for example, Lil Nas X. And it gave birth to the black Jezebel and her descendant today, the bag Getting Slut rapper, for example, Megan Thee Stallion and Cardi B. These are arguably all Jewish fabricated expressions of blackness. Now, this bag Getting Slut thing, brother Dr. Wesley, come on now. Now, for real, whatever point you trying to make, I'm sure you could have said that in a less offensive way, right? Well, sure, I could have, but it would not have made the point. And so what you should do instead of being emotionally triggered by words is ask Brother Dr. Wesley, what you mean by that? And I'm happy to tell you what I mean by that and how I came up with the phrase bag Getting Slut character. How I came up with the phrase nigga killing nigga character. And how I came up with the phrase black queer. There's no controversy there, but you need to know all three of those phrases derive from the same method. What is that method? Self-identification. Bag Getting Slut ain't me. Nigga killing nigga ain't me. These are self-identifications. Self-identifications. I'm going to expound on that in a minute. So we won't have any problem going forward. When you hear me say bag Getting Slut, you will know exactly what I mean and what I don't mean, just like when you hear me say nigga killing nigga. You will know what I mean and what I don't mean. Personally, I don't know any bag getting sluts except as lyrical characters. Except as lyrical characters. No, a bag getting slut is not synonymous with a so-called gold digger. Let's start with nigga killing nigga. Why you name that character nigga killing nigga? Because the lyrical character self-identifies as a nigga. I'm a nigga. And what do? I kill niggas. That's not me. That's lyrical self-identification. So the character identifies as nigga, and his street cred is based on all the niggas he killed. That's a character. I don't impose that language on that character. That character self-identifies. The character gives us the language nigga killing nigga. A self-identified nigga that's always bragging about killing niggas. Does that make sense? Okay. Bag getting slut. Slut, the term of endearment that they have embraced to describe not, and then be real clear, a woman's nature makes her expect the best from a man, and the best is not limited to, but it certainly includes the best that this world has to offer. That's not a bag getting slut. A woman that expects the world from her man, that's God. That ain't a slut, that's God. God put in the woman's nature to expect the world from her man. And that man, if he's going to take a woman, he got to be found trying to acquire that moon for her. That's righteous. That's divine. That ain't got nothing to do with the bag getting slut. What is the bag getting slut? It's the lyrical character who brags about sleeping, having sex with multiple men for no purpose other than getting the bag. And they often self-identify as slut. We got the slut walk going on. You know the slut walk. So the bag getting slut, and I don't know that the sister behind the character Megan Thee Stallion has anything to do with that. That's why I don't make any judgment on that sister, any judgment on Nicki Minaj, any judgment on Cardi B. I don't know those sisters, so I ain't got nothing to say about those sisters. But the lyrical character that they represent is the bag getting slut character, the woman who brags about sleeping with all of these multiple men, and the only aim is increasing the bag. Ergo, bag getting slut. Slut is a self-identification. It's not Wesley imposing that on them. It's a self-identification. Bag getting is not an aim I'm imposing on them. It's an aim that they self-identify with. See? So these three characters and caricatures, I didn't just spin them from whole cloth. No. They are accurate, I believe, representations of the lyrical self-characterization. Nigga killing nigga, bag getting slut, and black queer. So then, this last one, the longest one. This may be the one that set y'all off. Y'all were mad at the title and didn't take the time to read the content the title triggered you. You went off running and went off running at the mouth. But we're going to clear all of that up. So in this one, the third one, I titled it, quote, "There's some whores in this house. Understanding WAP and the weaponization of hip hop." So I think that's what upset many of you. Y'all read the first part of the title and then stopped there. You got triggered by the title. There's some whores in this house. Understanding WAP and the weaponization of hip hop. So y'all thought I was calling our beautiful sisters whores. No, I was not. I was quoting the damn song. Now, you know, there's some whores in this house. I know that the original was Frank Ski's, "There's some hoes in the house," but I know that, but I listened and re-listened. What I heard was, and I still hear it, "There's some whores in this house." So if Frank Ski's original, "There's some hoes in this house," is the source of it, the way they looped it or whatever, it was mixed in such a way where it comes out, "There's some whores in this house." That's the song. And in the video, it looks like they're in a whorehouse. It looks like that's the point of the video. They're in a whorehouse. And it looks like Kylie Jenner is the madam. That's what it looks like. I could be wrong, but what I hear after I keep listening to it, I hear there's some whores in this house, even knowing Frank Ski's, there's some hoes in this house. But what I hear is there's some whores in this house. And what I see visually is a whorehouse, what looks like a whorehouse, and a white madam. That's what it looks like. In any case, my title wasn't an insult. My title, "There's some whores in this house," is from the song itself. So if whores reference our sisters, that's not me insulting our sisters, that's a self-identification. But this is what I say. Listen. So that's the title. Some of y'all, I lost probably a lot of y'all with the title. Y'all didn't even get to the rest of it because this is the most lengthy one, but the most substantive one, the point of it all. If you didn't keep going and read it, you missed the whole point. And then y'all ran out running your mouth and constructing Trumpian fake news about your brother. All right, but we clearing that up. So I go on to say this, quote, "A major aim of weaponized hip hop today, as yesterday, is to replace the idea of a virtuous black girl and woman with that of a ratchet black girl and woman." Brother Wesley, why are you calling these sisters ratchet? Well, I'm not calling any sisters anything. Megan Thee Stallion brags about being ratchet. Ratchet is a self-identification for the character of Megan Thee Stallion. And so that's how the word found its way in my text, because it's a self-identification of the character, the lyrical character called Megan Thee Stallion. Making no judgments about our beautiful sister. I don't know how she get down. I then say this, and this is what's important. This is a point. In 1991, the Jewish-Israeli music exec, Lil Cohen, gave us the female rap group Bitches with Problems, who were marketed as the female version of the raunchy and pornographic male group Two Live Crew. Now let me depart from the reading for a moment to give some historical context. Two Live Crew. Our brother Luther Campbell, Luke Skywalker, the reigning king of booty rap. Behind him was the Jew Doug Morris and the Jewish attorney Weindenberg. It was the Jew Doug Morris from Atlantic Records. Very important. Cardi B, Atlantic Records. We're going to get to that. But the original porn rap came to us thanks to Doug Morris and Atlantic Records. And when Doug Morris signed, in fact, Two Live Crew was the Jew Doug Morris's first rap act that he signed. He heard that raunchy rap of Two Live Crew, and he brought Luther Campbell and Two Live Crew to Atlantic Records, giving them a multi-million package, which was probably the biggest package, rap package of its day. Why, Doug Morris, Jew, did you invest so much money in this porn rap? Okay, Doug Morris was Lil Cohen's mentor. So we're going to get back to reading what I wrote. Lil Cohen gave us a female rap group, Bitches with Problems, who were marketed as the female version of the raunchy and pornographic male group Two Live Crew. So behind the male porn rap is the Jew Doug Morris. Behind the female early porn rap, Bitches with Problems, is the Jew Lil Cohen. I go on to say their album title was The Bitches. That's the name of, that's what they titled their album in 1991, The Bitches. Lil Cohen said that the raunchy bitches were more authentic. Listen to this. Listen to what Lil Cohen said. He said that the raunchy bitches were a more authentic representation of urban black girls than the positivity of Queen Latifah. There are a lot more black bitches than black queens, Cohen would have us believe. The racist Jewish president of Columbia Records, Don Imer, thought that The Bitches, the album, was funny, and he totally supported the project. But the Jewish racist president, Don Imer, disallowed Columbia's brand from being associated with the project. I go on to say this. Today, Megan Thee Stallion is a Lil Cohen artist. At the time that I wrote this, she was. She was the first lady of his label, 300. And City Girls is Coach K's artist. Coach K said Lil Cohen is his mentor. I say Cardi B is Craig Cowman and Julie Greenwald's artists. Two Jewish proteges of Lil Cohen. Ratchet rules today. The more things change, the more they stay the same, especially if the Jewish players and power remains the same. That's what I said. My focus isn't on our sisters. My focus is on the Jewish authors of the script that so many of our sisters are forced to act out. And listen to this. Listen. Craig Cowman, Julie Greenwald, They hid Atlantic Records today, as Doug Morris hid Atlantic Records when he signed 2 Live Crew as his first rap act. Look at what Billboard says, quote, Cowman and Greenwald's biggest cultural coup. Listen to these words, y'all who get mad at me. Listen to these words from Billboard magazine. Craig Cowman and Julie Greenwald's biggest cultural coup may have been the fostering of hip-hop's 2 biggest breakthroughs, Cardi B and Lil Uzi Vert. Craig Cowman prides himself on being an A&R type executive. He is hands-on in regards to the creative process of the artist. He takes credit for being the creative brains behind so much of what we get as Cardi B. That's Craig Cowman. That's his A&R work. And then, when you talk about porn rap and Lil' Kim from Atlantic Record, Craig Cowman was behind Lil' Kim's 1997 debut, which took the fusion of hip-hop and pornography to its heights at the time. Lil' Kim's 1996 debut, Hardcore, that was on Atlantic Records. That was Craig Cowman, but guess what? Lil' Kim of Hardcore, that wasn't Kimberly Jones. Kimberly Jones, our beautiful sister, said specifically that Lil' Kim is different from her. That Lil' Kim of Hardcore was just a character. These are her words. Just a character that she uses to sell records. And behind the character of Lil' Kim, as we get it visually, it's Craig Cowman, the same Jew who's behind Cardi B. Yeah, I know that Lil' Kim was Biggie's artist and Biggie encouraged her, that sex sells. But before Biggie had those conversations with Kimberly Jones, Rivera had his conversations with Craig Cowman. Rivera and Biggie, they started Junior Mafia. Rivera and Undias Entertainment, they were financed by Craig Cowman. He went and had the conversation with Craig Cowman. Craig Cowman green-lighted it, and then we get Kimberly Jones morphing into Lil' Kim in Hardcore. And the same Jew that's in the shadows of Lil' Kim, whom Kimberly Jones said wasn't her, was just a character, the same Jew is behind the character represented by Cardi B. That's my point. All of my criticism is on the Jews behind the character that our sisters and our brothers are playing, because our conversation is only about the weaponization of hip hop. So when you talk about the emergence of porn rap, listen, my point is the Jewish origins of porn rap. That is the headline that you should get. The Jewish origins of porn rap. Even if porn rap began with 2 Live Crew, and 2 Live Crew, if Luther Campbell organically developed those lyrics, that's fine. However, 2 Live Crew would have been a footnote in history if not for the Jew Doug Morris dumping all this money behind porn rap. And from there, the journey began. From 2 Live Crew to bitches with problems, hoes with attitude, hardcore, Little Kim, all the way up to WAP. There's some whores in this house, right? All the way up to WAP. And the story is not a story about our beautiful brothers and sisters. The story is a story about the Jewish origin upon rap. And so, exposing the Jewish origins of porn rap isn't just an academic exercise. That has practical purposes in real life for black girls. And sex trafficking. The reason this is important to me, it ain't just academic. And the reason, the context of WAP must be properly understood. The reason, the context of hardcore must be properly understood is because there is a dangerous agenda behind and being executed by the Jewish authors of these characters. The sex trafficking of black girls is intimately related to this aspect of the weaponization of hip hop. I'm going to prove that. So why did I take interest in this? Because I hate black women? No. Because I got a whole bunch of beautiful daughters. And I happen to know that this part of the weaponization of hip hop, the Jezebel character, has one of its aims is to justify the sexual abuse of black girls. The Jezebel character is deliberately used from slavery to today. And I'm going to prove that if you will hang out with me for a few more minutes. The Jezebel character was used to justify the sexual exploitation of black girls by white men. We're going to close talking about Jeffrey Epstein. We thought we were happy when we read Jeffrey Epstein gave the order he don't want any black girls. We thought, word up, racism finally pays off. Nah. Jeffrey Epstein was a Jew, connected with the same Jews that I'm talking about. I want to close explaining the significance of Jeffrey Epstein, the Jew, giving his women the order to recruit no black girls. He had a particular agenda that required white girls, but he supported the other agenda that contributes to the sexual exploitation of black girls. And yes, the bad Getting Slut character is part of that process. Yes, it is. So listen to Frederick Dannon. I'm quoting now from the book, which is available. I gotta plug it at drwesley.online/publications. But I say in this book, quote, when Frederick Dannon, in his best-selling book, Hitmen, Power Brokers and Fast Money Inside the Music Industry, he observed that, quote, an outsized number of record label bosses were Jews from Brooklyn. And that, as a result of this is what's important. As a result of this, quote, the record business was culturally Jewish because Jews dominate as record label heads in the music industry globally, that has resulted in the record business being culturally Jewish. What's the evidence of the cultural Jewishness of the record industry? Ain't nobody wearing yarmulkes. Ain't nobody wearing prayer shawls. No. The evidence of the cultural Jewishness of the record industry is this: organized sexual exploitation of young girls and young boys, and a culture of pornography and homosexuality. The evidence of the music industry being culturally Jewish is seen most clearly in musical pornography and homosexuality, both of which seem to be pigeonholed in the black music and hip hop in particular. Brother Wesley, are you accusing Jews of being the world's pornographers? Well, I submit as evidence. Jewish Quarterly, Winter 2004, number 196, article written by the Jewish scholar Nathan Abrams, entitled Triple X the Knicks, Jews in the American Porn Industry. And the Jewish scholar Nathan Abrams documents how Jews dominate the porn industry from the 1920s and 1930s erotica version through the Playboy era, then to hardcore porn. Jews have dominated the porn industry, but what's most important is what Nathan Abrams documents as the reason his fellow Jews came to dominate the porn industry. Listen to what he says. He tells us that though Jews make up only 2% of the American population, they have been prominent in pornography. In a post-war era, America's most notorious pornographer was Reuben Sterman, the Walt Disney of porn. He identifies Stephen Hirsch as the Donald Trump of porno. But listen to what he says. Professor Nathan Adams. Why in pornography, Jewish produced pornography, the male is a Jewish stud and the female is invariably a Gentile? Why? There is a subversive agenda behind that. Nathan Abrams reveals. Says Jewish involvement in, listen to him, Jewish involvement in the X-rated industry can be seen as a proverbial two fingers to the entire WASP establishment, white Anglo-Saxon Protestant establishment in America. Some porn stars viewed themselves as frontline fighters in the spiritual battle between Christian America and secular humanism. Jewish involvement in porn, by this argument, is the result of an atavistic hatred of Christian authority. They are trying to weaken the dominant culture in America by moral subversion. If Jews took over the porn industry with the agenda of subverting Christian America, by weakening the dominant culture by moral subversion, if Jews in a porn industry uses porn to weaken Christian America, what do you think the agenda is for the Jews behind porn rap? What do you think it is? Okay. Listen, Al Goldstein, a prominent Jewish porn figure, says this, quote, "The only reason that Jews are in pornography is that we think that Christ sucks." Jews are in pornography because we think Christ sucks. And so their agenda of moral subversion is still operative with these Jews who are over hip hop. So, Jeffrey Epstein, I'll close on this. In the article we quoted, the Jezebel stereotype, a very important article identifying the history of the Jezebel character, the racist Jezebel character. But what the author points out is something very important. The quote, "The Jezebel stereotype was used during slavery as a rationalization for sexual relations between white men and black women, especially sexual unions involving slaves and slavers. Jezebel, it was claimed, desired sexual relations with white men. Therefore, white men did not have to rape black women. Slave women, it was said, were gratified by the criminal advances of white folks." See, presenting the black woman to the world as a Jezebel rationalizes and justifies the society's sexual abuse of black girls. This is why it's not a such thing as the rape of a black girl. White men in the South had a saying that you are not a real man unless you had sex with a nigger. And because popular media presents black girls and women as hypersexual, that this rationalizes in white minds in courts that black women can't be raped. And so black women are raped daily. In fact, we rightly march and fight against police murder of black men, but did you know police rape of black women happen at much higher numbers than police murder of black men? But there's no national mobilization against police rape of black women, and police officers go to court and 9.9 times out of 10 get off because this society has been convinced that black women and black girls cannot be raped. Why can black girls not be raped? Because black girls want it. This is what the nation is convinced of. Black girls want it. Black women want it. How do you know black girls want it? Well, you listen to their music, you see them, they hot girls. The character of the Jezebel was then and is now created and used to rationalize and justify society's continued sexual abuse of black girls and women. Now, Jeffrey Epstein, so it's Jews who have created these bad getting slut characters. The bad getting slut, the Jezebel in popular culture, the black Jezebel in popular culture, it's a Jewish artifact. It's fed to society by these Jewish architects, and society consumes it and thus feels okay about consuming black women and black girls. So Jews, through their control of hip hop, Jews like Craig Kalman and Julie Greenwald and Leo Cohen and Doug Morris, all of them through their control of hip hop, has made the hot girl the definition of black girl. And so it just continues the making the point that black girls can't be raped because they want it. Listen to them, they saying that they want it. That's the point of the Jewish derived characters that we're talking about. So 64,000 black girls and women are missing, they said, and don't nobody care. We have been desensitized to the abuse of black girls and women. And part of that process is by these Jewish derived characters that's fed to us and fed to society, that rationalizes in their mind the abuse and sexual exploitation of black girls and black women. That was the point of the Jezebel character. And that's my point, because the Jezebel character is still with us today. The bad Getting Slut character is a Jezebel character. Jeffrey Epstein said the girls couldn't be black. Jeffrey Epstein was a Jew. While his colleagues are helping make the sexual abuse of black girls culturally acceptable through their control over popular media, Jeffrey Epstein, a Jew, who ran love traps operations for the Jewish mega group and the Mossad, Israeli secret intelligence Mossad, Jeffrey Epstein ran love trap operations for them. But he had a particular vision for himself. Jeffrey Epstein hoped to seed the human race with his DNA. You know why Jeffrey Epstein only wanted a certain white girl to traffic and exploit, and he excluded black girls? Because Jeffrey Epstein, in his ranch in New Mexico, he was a eugenicist. He had planned to, through his seed, plant his seed in enough qualified white girls to generate in his ranch, where he has a laboratory. He had a plan to produce a new human species. So his human trafficking operation, which he did for the Jewish mega group and the Israeli secret intelligence and American intelligence, but he also did it, part of it was to breed through these captive white girls, breed a new white Jewish human race. So these Jews over here were getting Gentile white girls to breed. They were trafficking them, kidnapping them, sexually exploiting them, part of the aim of which was to breed a new white race, while the other Jews over here were sexually exploiting black girls, and through their control of our music, making the sexual abuse of black girls that occur every day makes it acceptable. That's my point. That was my point. That's my conversation. My conversation isn't about our two sisters. My conversation was on a much higher level than that. On a much higher level than that. The weaponization of hip hop.